Hey, new handle. Here it is. So, what it is it's adjustable rolling handle and a wrist wrench. And here it is. Here we have it on the rolling handle mode. And here, a bit closer, the mechanics of it. So it's an improved version of this one. If you have seen this video about this one. The point of this one was that you put the handles here and it turns everything into a rotating handle. But there was a couple of things I was not happy about this model, and the first of those was that it's possible to, it's not stable, very stable, meaning that this kind of movement cannot occur since there is nothing preventing it. But with this handle, since I have used a chain here, it will not allow turning very much. It's very stable. Because of the chain. So that stability is there with this one, the new one. And also there is a little bit of adjusting here, because if you have it like this, it's not so good. You might want it to be like this. So with that one, that's not an issue since there is no 4 points. This old one had these 4 points. So since this was not attached to the handle, it was possible that this was out of line. But with this one, the handle is attached to the chain with these bolts, which can be taken off. So that's also fixed with this model. And then this was just, like, in my opinion, a bit clumsy because of these the 4 attachment points. So it was just, and also what there was like this could, for some magical reason, this thing just, it loops itself. I do not know how you take these loops out without removing these from these woods, but somehow it is able to do this. I don't know how it does it, but somehow it does it. But with this one, we don't have that kind of problem. These chains do not loop around anything, and rope obviously doesn't matter if it loops around itself. It's still a circular profile. Those are the improvements to this. And then additional improvements which take this to another level of equipment, which is this has a double function. It's not just a spinning handle, it's actually also a wrist wrench, you know. So here is the magic. Now we have these chains go from opposite directions, which stabilizes this handle so that there is no, it's symmetric. But if I turn one of these chains around, like so, now it's a wrist wrench. So, if you want to train a wrist wrench, all you do is have the chains on the same side. And if you want to train rotating handle, you turn another one to the opposite side. And there you have your turning handle. And this handle is just attached with these bolts, which don't need to be tight. And to change the handle, since this is adjustable, just like that one was, I have drilled holes into these handles, 2 tiny holes. All of these handles, so they can be attached to these chains. And here is how you would go about changing your handle if you need to change it. The speed of this depends how fast you can undo 2 bolts. The bolts I chose to use are like so, because they are easy to grab, and then we have these wing nuts, so these are easy to operate even though you would not see the nut you are operating. So that is why I chose these. Alright, so this was a 2-inch handle. Alright, let's say that I want to now train with the 3-inch handle. And I also have a 4-inch handle. And then this one is the Rolling Thunder thickness, 60 millimeters. Alright, then I just attach this. It doesn't really matter. Do I put this one like this or like this? At the beginning I had it this way. Let's now put it this way. One side is on. And obviously if you would have some kind of better mechanism here, you this could be a lot easier and faster to change it. So now it has been changed. Let's put it on here. So here is it in a rolling handle, spinning handle. And the principle why this function as a spinning handle, even though it looks kind of like it might not function like that, is that if you have ever seen those yoke carries where they have this structure on their back in the World's Strongest Man, those things you can also load so that it's like not completely symmetric, but it's still symmetric since the load will make a twist to the structure, and since the structure doesn't allow twisting, it operates as if it would be even loaded. And the principle is similar here. These uneven loads from here and from here create a twisting motion on this handle, like try to twist it like this. But since these handles are metal, they do not allow twisting, so that twisting does not happen, and what happens is that these opposite poles create the similar effect like with this one. Like this one, you had these go all the way over the handle. Like so. So I have achieved the same by removing the other one from this and attaching this here and stabilizing the structure here and here with the chain. So that's the mechanism, the principle how this will create the function of a spinning handle, even though it kind of looks like it might not do it, but it does. So, and then if you just want to use it as a wrist wrench, you just turn this one of these to the other side, and then you have your wrist wrench. A little bit about what we have here is that I have two pulley wheels here, and this is just a piece of 2x4. And here is a bolt that goes through this whole thing, like there, and it's attached to this piece. And here we have a carabiner. And there is a rope, and the rope is attached to these chains, and the chain is attached to these bolts, and the bolts are attached to the handle. So that's all there is to this. And if you want to do spinning handle, you do this, and if you want to do wrist wrench, you do this. And what's also nice about this thing is that since these adjustable handles are just circular tubes, it's really easy to put this away. Obviously you don't have to take this handle away if you don't want, but if you want to store this somewhere, if you like want to use your own model of this at the gym or something, like these tubes, they just go inside of each other. And there. And then you just have this. And this you can attach wherever you want. So, I think this is a lot better than this one was. Improved version. 2.0 of this, of that is this. And this come out of there with, if you need to take it out. Obviously you can just undo the nut here and these come off if you cannot pull these through the pulley wheels. If you want to take this apart so much, there is no need to take it, but if you just want, you can. You can. So, there's that. Alright, let's address one obvious point here. That is this functionally necessary? And the answer to that is no. Because you can train with this your rolling handle. Like so. A pudding handle here. So this gives you a rolling handle. And then regarding the wrist wrench, since if you just make these holes here to these handles, these pipes, you can just, all you need to do is put a rope through the hole, make a one knot to the rope, and then to the other hole too, and you just do a one simple knot. And now you have a rope like this. And now you can just train your wrist wrench with this like so. So this might already be enough for you. So this is kind of overkill in that sense. Since you already have a rolling thunder or the spinning handle, adjustable spinning handle and adjustable wrist wrench. Since if you just make a hole to every one of these, like I have done, like let's say for this 4-inch, for example, if you just make a hole to this, like I have done, you can just put this on it, like so. And now you have 4-inch rolling thunder. If you like to have different sizes of no rolling thunder, but wrist wrenches, different sizes. So So this is just if you want conveniently change between the rolling thunder, rolling handle and the restraints, and also because this change to add stability to the rotating handle, which kind of eliminates this kind of movement, which can occur even though it's not very, it doesn't bother that much, since with bigger weights you squeezing it will cancel that out. But this is still, I think, a nicer design regarding the spinning handle portion of it. And of course, since it's just turning this around, there are changes into the restraints. Like, why not? It's not that much more. Like these pulley wheels are €5. These two. €5 and €5. So this setup regarding the pulley wheels is just €10. And then this chain is, I guess, the whole chain was €10 too. And then there is just screws and stuff, which almost doesn't cost anything. But that's this point. And also one more point regarding this one is that there is like limited range of motion to it. Because, let me put this on here so I can better demonstrate this point. Like so. So you can see that there is a limited range of motion which comes from these and these. Like you have pretty much 180 degrees of range of motion, which is this. Range of motion is this. Because after this point and after this point, this chain, like let's look at this one. If I keep turning it, it does not, due to this attachment point being here, going below the handle, the chains do not travel like through the outer diameter, like from here. It goes inside the center of the handle, which messes this movement up. So if you do some movements, you start it so that this point toward yourself. And on that position, you have 90 degrees of range of motion on both directions, to here and to here. And if you do some kind of move, like a static hold or something, where you know that you will fail the movement on this direction, then you can predict it in a sense that you turn this not toward yourself, but a little bit past the point of pointing yourself, like so. Now you have more range of motion, like so. You have like 135 degrees, like 90 degrees from here to here, plus the 45 from here to here. So that's plenty of range of motion if you're just holding it like this, because it will come off your hand long before it reaches this point, since you cannot hold on to it with your thumb anymore. So that's kind of additional point, that it does have a limited rate of motion, which this also has, but the range of motion on this is lots more like adjustable, since it pretty much depends on how long this rope is. Like you just put a longer rope and your range of motion increases. Here, you cannot really have, of course you could make these holes so that they would be here and here. But still, in that position, let's say they would be like this. This would be like this and this would go over here. You still have 180 degrees range of motion, because if you do this, you see that it touches itself there. It goes a full circle, and since it is a chain, the chain cannot like, well, it would not like to wrap around itself, doing another layer here. And there is a bolt and everything. So this kind of, the thickness of the profile of the chain kind of doesn't allow it to go on over itself. But it is possible that you could do this with these rubber things. Like this kind of material, but it would be harder to rubber. In which case, it could go over itself. You know, this would be hard rubber, so it would prevent this kind of move, but it would function as the chain functions. But it would also allow it to be put turns to it so that it is going on top of the already existing layers, like so. So that is a possibility how you could do this so that you would have a bigger range of motion. But I do not have access to that kind of materials, or I do not know where to buy these materials, so the chain is my solution. And I think this allows good enough range of motion. Like 180 degrees is plenty of range of motion with this kind of handle. Since you are doing some kind, in maximum you are doing a movement like this. Like this. And as you can see, the range of motion is plenty here. Or if you do a hold, and you hold it and it pulls, and like here is the end of the range of motion, and as you can see, I'm barely holding on to it anymore. Like no way you can hold on to a real bar without your thumb on this position anymore. It will come out of your hand. Even so, the range end of the range of motion does not affect the movement. So, but these two has the additional point regarding the end of the range of motion, and also regarding you already having a wrist wrench and a spinning handle from these previous things, and from the making the holes to here. It allows you to attach rope there and turn it into a spinning handle. So those additional 2 points. And now I will show you how you can easily make these holes. Like I have previously told you that you can buy these pipes from your local metal distributor, and they're super inexpensive. Like one of these maybe costs €3. Maybe at best, and then they cut it for you, and it's maybe €2. So one of these is maybe €5 maximum, because it can be a lot cheaper regarding where you live. But also regarding making these holes, the hole making process is super simple. You can make it yourself if you just have a drill. And now I will show you how you make that hole. So let's go to that now. So here is the tube, the handle for the Rolling Thunder thickness. I have not yet made the holes for it, but now I may do it so that you can see how simple it is. So you have this pipe here, and then you have this kind of metal spike and a hammer. This is made to make a starting hole into whatever you are drilling. So wherever you want to attach it, you just place this here, and then almost like so. There is your mark. Then you take the opposite side and do the same here. Like so. There are your starting marks. And then you just use your drill to make the hole. And when you are making these metal holes, you need to press it hard. Because you are not grinding it. The grinding will create heat, and the heat will mess up your blade. You wanna make it, the turning motion is slow, but the pressure, you are pushing it with the greater amount of pressure. The pressure and the slow turning is what cuts it, since it needs to chip it, not grind it. It's like with a knife, not with a sandpaper. Okay? So that's the principle. You put your blade into the starting hole, and then you start. So I went 2 of these thicknesses. So the first, it punctured the hole through the first, and then I went a little bit deeper with the second profile of the blade. So according to the blade, it's now 6mm hole. Let's make the other hole also. Now the first penetration happened, and now I will go the next step, and then it's the 6mm hole. There. And now I have a pipe which has 2 holes. And now I can attach this to it. And this is how simple this is. All you needed was a spike like this, a hammer, a blade like this. These are very inexpensive, by the way. And some kind of drill. Like, my drill did not have to be this nice. It could have been whatever drill. Alright? So, and there it is. I think this is a pretty nice idea. And that's it. Bye.